Okay, for this lesson, we are going to be introducing feet. Now, we talked about inches yesterday, so today we're talking about feet. What do you know about the unit of measure called a foot? So just think, have you ever heard, oh, you're 5 feet tall, or have you ever heard of anything else that might have been measured using feet? How long do you think it is? How long do you think a foot is? So the foot was once used to describe the length of a man's foot. Imagine you measured the length of the classroom using your feet. So that would be like if you started from one corner of the classroom and you walked all the way to the other corner or the other side, and you were just measuring how many feet, if you put one foot in front of the other, how many feet it took. Would you get the same answer as your teacher? So think about the size of your foot and then think about the size of my foot. Y'all know I got some pretty big feet. Do you think that we would have the same amount of feet distance from one side of the classroom to the other? Why or why not? Probably not, because my foot is going to be bigger, so my foot is going to be different from your foot. But these days, the foot is a standard length. Rulers are often 1 foot long. Well, rulers are often 1 foot long. Do we know how many inches are on one ruler? There's 12 inches. So if a 1 foot long equals one ruler, and one ruler has 12 inches, then that means there is 12 inches in 1 foot. What do you notice? What could you write to describe 1 foot? He wrote what we just came to the conclusion of. 1 foot is the same as 12 inches. What are some things at home that measure about 1 foot long, 1 foot wide, or 1 foot thick? So when you think about 1 foot long, you're thinking about measuring from the tip of your toes to the heel of your foot. If you're thinking about how you're trying to measure by 1 foot wide, then that means you're going to measure from the top of your foot to the bottom of your foot. And if you think about, not for wide, it's going to be from one side of your foot, the outside of your foot to the inside of your foot. That's measuring. And then for thick, if you want to measure how thick, then that would be measuring from the top of your foot to the bottom of your foot. So he came to the conclusion that a wooden spoon is about 1 foot long. So if you have a wooden spoon or your parents use a wooden spoon to cook with, that's about 1 foot long. A big book could be 1 foot wide. So if you think about our big old ELAR books, or if you have it at home, if you look at the width of it, that means from the top to the bottom of it, then that's about 1 foot wide. Some mattresses are about 1 foot thick. So if you think about the mattress that you sleep on, if you sleep on a mattress or maybe even the cushions on your couch, that might be about 1 foot thick or more. So here you're going to just look around your house, and I want you to write some objects that you would measure in feet. So I want you to give me maybe 3 or 4 objects in your house that you would measure using feet. All right, like one thing I could measure maybe my laptop, how big that is in feet. I could maybe measure my little coffee table that I have sitting in my living room with my feet. I couldn't measure a pencil because a pencil's not even going to be that long unless you have one of those huge pencils. But just think about things that are, what could I measure with my feet that wouldn't be too hard? And then we go to the next page. So the next page that you guys are going to have to complete looks like this. The first one says find and write 2 objects in the classroom, but of course you guys are not in the classroom, so it would be your house, to match each length. So what do you think is less than 2 feet? Like one thing we said would be a pencil. We know that a pencil is going to be less than 2 feet. What do you think is going to be, and then you give me 3 examples of that. What do you think is going to be about 2 feet? So if you put 2 of your feet, one in front of the other, what do you think is going to be about that length? Give me 3 examples of that. And then what do you think is going to be more than if you were to put your 2 feet in front of each other? And then you give me 3 examples of that. So just look around your house. Maybe if you can roam outside with your parents or whatever, maybe you can find some things outside that you might see that may be more or less than 2 feet. Now down here, it wants you to complete the table. It's already given you 3 examples, but if you look at it, it looks kind of confusing because 112, 224, 336. What are they even talking about? But if we look at the whole table, then we notice that right here it says what? Feet. Right here it says what? Inches. So this must be converting feet to inches. We already said that one ruler equals how many feet? One ruler equals 1 foot. And how many inches is in one ruler? 12. So maybe they're saying one ruler equals 12 inches. How many would 2 rulers equal? So this would mean that we would have to come and we would have to do some math. If you know how to do your multiplication, then you can do some easy multiplication here. If you don't know how to do your multiplication, then we can just do it the way that we used to do before we had our little break, and we're just going to add it up one by one. So we know that 1, oh, let me get off the eraser. Okay, here we go. So we know that 1 equals 12. But we want to know how, okay, we know that 2, so to find 2, all I would do is put a plus sign right here, do another 12, what is 2 plus 2? If I have 2 and then I get 2 more, how many do I have? 4. Make sure that you try to line it up as even as you can. And what's 1 plus 1? 2. So that means that if we had 2 rulers, we would have 24 inches. That's the same thing they got. Good. If we want to do 3, how many are we going to have to add to 24? 12 again. Remember, you're just going to keep adding 12 over and over again until you find the number that you want. So if I add 12 to 24, and I can do my little line here if I need to, what is 4 plus 2? 6. What is 2 plus 3? 3. So our answer is 36, which means that 3 rulers would equal 36. Now, if I want, it wants us to find 4 and 5, so if I want to find 4 rulers, how much do I add to 36? What's the number that we keep adding? We keep adding 12. 12 is our magic number. We're going to keep adding this number. So then we add it again. What is 36 plus 12? Once you get your answer, you'll come over here and type it in. And then you do it again for 5. You come over here and type it in. And then you tell me, how did you find those missing numbers? So I just explained it to you, so you can write how I just explained it to you out. Or if you have another way, like I said, some of you guys might do some multiplication, then you can maybe say that you use multiplication and explain to me how you did that. And that is going to be it for today. Make sure that you do your Path Blazers, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.